Welcome into Monday's Wake Up Barstool. We got to recap a huge week in NFL football as the playoff picture is taking shape. Plus, the college football playoffs got underway. We got Greg Olsen and John Gruden joining for the football G-Spot, as well as Coach Gruden's Shred Line. It's going to be a ton of fun over the next 2 hours here on Wake Up Barstool, and it all starts now. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all. It is Monday on Wake Up Barstool. T-Bob Hebert, Brandon Walker, Dave Portnoy, Meek Phil, and Liam Blutman with you today. It's going to be a ton of fun. And Dave, another Monday show and another victory lap for Patriot Dave as Drake May looks perfect in the fourth, and they get it done against Baltimore last night to massive win for your Pats in May.
That's a big win. This is a team that is Super Bowl or bust this year. That's what this team is. So this isn't, hey, I told you so in week 16 or something like that. It was a big win. Obviously coming off the Buffalo loss where everyone's saying this is a child of a weak schedule or whatnot. You go into Baltimore, who, some experts, and one of them on this show will have in a little bit, have been talking about the Ravens coming around the mountain and watch out for the Ravens. The Ravens are going to win the division. And you go look at their Super Bowl odds. Ravens this, people waiting on these Ravens. And you go into a desperate Baltimore, especially with Pittsburgh winning earlier in the day. Baltimore needs the game. Their season's on the line. And they have a lead going into the second half, into the fourth quarter. And Drake May is literally throwing dime after dime after dime, putting the ball in the perfect position every throw, stepping up in the pocket, just everything that you want to see from the MVP and the best player in the league. He was spectacular, and everybody got to see what I've seen all season long. This is a Super Bowl contender team. So, glad we won the game, 28-24, good win. But this team can win the Super Bowl. This team can go to the Super Bowl. This team can win the Super Bowl. I've seen 6 of them in my lifetime. People laughed. They said, Dave, what's the minimum? I said, minimum 4 Super Bowls from this guy. And that's how good he is. So it was an important game. But I'm not doing victory laps. I don't do victory laps till early February when the duck boats are rolling down the streets in Boston. That's my victory lap, T-Bob. I'm not like a lot of people who get super excited for clinching, making the playoffs. We don't play for T-shirts in this type of the year. We play for Super Bowl Lombardi trophies. So very exciting. I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. This thing is wide open. This thing, I don't know how Walker's making a face. I'm being very honest. This thing is wide open. There are a lot of big games, a lot of teams who step forward and say, hey, we can make a run here. But the Patriots are in this thing. No other way about it. It's a totally new league with the exception of the Patriots reestablishing their dynasty. Chiefs dead, Ravens dead, Bills still in it. Jags look great. Liam Cohen, he's got them playing ball out there. But you're going to have to deal with us. You are going to have to deal with us. And if you said you can have any quarterback in the playoffs, I'm taking Drake May 1, not even a hesitation. Anybody who's not doing that is a liar.
So I was making a face because you said I don't take victory laps. You've taken a victory lap every Monday of this entire football season.
That's not a victory lap.
With good reason this time, because last night Drake May
We're on a show.
Last night, Drake May was incredible. Last night, Drake May, the touchdown throw to cut it from 24-13 to Kyle Williams. That's one of the best throws you'll see in the NFL.
Well, at least last week. If you watch it every week, he does it every week, Brandon.
That's fine. Well, can I give the man credit? Do you have to correct me while I'm giving him credit?
Well, you're saying I'm taking victory lap. There's no way to talk about him without effusive praise. Continue.
All right, I will continue because there's other teams that need effusive praise here. I know we're leading off the Patriots because the boss man, that's his team and everything. And he's right, Drake May is fantastic. But this day needs to be about the Bears, too. About one of the all-time classic Saturday night NFL games. I know, Dave, I know you were asleep, Dave. I know you went to bed. But just...
I watched it all. Now, listen, I watched up to till 2 minutes.
That's when it started.
Yeah, right. But that was a fluke. I mean, the Bears fans doing celebration. This reminds me of the year Notre Dame made it to the national championship with balls. I think Herb Street said balls bouncing off the tuba, I mean, they got pretty much dominated.
I don't know that they got dominated. They were certainly they were in bad shape until it started going their way. But that's one of those things. Like Caleb Williams was one of the all-time clutch throws in overtime. What a beautiful throw that was. The 4th and 4, the onside kick. Like this is just what sets
the onside kick. Let's talk about that onside kick.
I'll just talk later, I guess.
That was the easiest onside kick of all time.
In what way easy? What do you mean?
Well, the guy did botch it. I mean, he gave it to him.
I mean, it hit him between the 8 and the 7.
Yeah, you can't wear a guardian cap when you're doing onside kicks. Everyone knows that.
Correct.
Listen, great win for the Bears. I have a lot of friends in Chicago. Happy for them. Celebrate. I saw Dante the Don saying there's no city like it when they win. That's a recycled tweet he has for 19 different cities that he lives in when they win. Yeah, it was a great, spectacular win. I almost thought about calling Eddie and saying congrats. That was a great throw by Caleb. Does that win, Brandon, give you confidence for the Bears going to the playoffs?
No, not really. I don't know that they're a Super Bowl threat, but I do. Something you said earlier is exactly correct. It's wide open. It's wide open on both sides. So if I'm in the Bears and I put myself in a spot where I'm the 2 seed and I get every game at home except for the 1, maybe at the end, I think I've got just as good a shot as any. I certainly wouldn't bet on them in the NFC. You know, I still think the Packers are going to be answered for. The 49ers are in great shape. I still think the Rams are the best team in the NFC.
Rams, Seahawks, Niners, I'd probably still all take over the Bears. Eagles, I mean, we're counting out the Eagles, but still, once the playoffs roll around with them.
If they lose that game Saturday night, they're on the out. They put themselves in a position. I know the Lions eventually lost. They put themselves in a position. They don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. So this is huge momentum swinging victory.
So I would say, the Bears have 2 elements that they're gonna have to prove next year to not be fluky. They have great turnover luck, right? That's going to be unsustainable, and they're winning the vast majority of these 1-score games. Like those are both 2 points of regression that could come into play long term.
But Vikings,
but
the Bears are fool's gold, and I root for them, and I like all the cute Bears fans, and most of them are overweight, and it's cold, and listen, but they are fool's gold. If you're watching like that game, they got dominated till the 2-minute. Now he makes great throws in overtime, but really, that game shouldn't have been overtime. That's why I went to sleep, because the onside kick you don't recover. And I don't know how they didn't that. I saw the Ben Johnson post game. I think he gave a game ball to the guy who kicked the onside kick. Maybe I know he gave it to the field.
Well, Santos went 3 of 3. He went 3 of 3 in tough conditions, and had the inside.
Almost had one of the all-time debacles, burning the 2-minute warning.
That is why I went to sleep, Blutman. I was disgusted by that, and I was falling asleep. Listen, again, great win for the Bears. This is a city that's starved for football. It's a football city. I'm happy for them. If we're just doing X's and O's, which I thought we did on this show.
When did you think that?
They're fool's gold.
Dave, I do think.
What the hell did he think that?
I agree with you. That's a good point. I do agree with you on the fool's gold. Maybe the only pushback I have is that everything in this league comes back to quarterback. And you can start to believe in Caleb Williams. It's not as finished a product as Drake May. It's not as overall consistent. Things like completion percentage, like play-to-play consistency.
I'd be happy if No, listen. From last year, you're very happy with Caleb Williams. And I think down the road he can win. I'm just, this year right now, this product, that game, spectacular. Now, I'm just comparing, contrasting, unbiased, of course. The Patriots game, it's like, okay, this team can go win a Super Bowl. That's how I felt at the end of the game. The Bears fans, drink up, have your, what do they call that drink? They have Malort. Malort. Go have your Malort. Go have a party. But this team's a one-and-done type team in the playoffs.
It was though. It is, like the most fun time to be a fan of a team is always on the rise, especially after an extended downswing and going to church on Sunday. There were probably at least 4 references from like different preachers and ministers and whatnot. And that's always a fun time, right?
Yeah.
You walk around the city, the casual talk you're hearing in like the locker room at the
I love when
club.
T-Bob just lets his Louisiana roots seep into everything. I don't think the preachers and the ministers are as prevalent around the streets of Chicago talking Bears football as maybe down on the bayou.
I think
No,
they're pretty prevalent.
that's what I'm saying, Dave. At church Sunday, there were like 4 or 5 jokes made. I got a Packers fan sitting in front of me, and he's like booing the priest. It was fun. Or not priest, I don't know. But whatever. The point, the minister, father, I don't know. I'm not Catholic. Anyway.
Great time to be in Chicago.
It's a great time to be in Chicago.
Well, you just botched that sentence to hell and back.
Just like, I mean, it was
You just fell apart. He says one thing, you just fall apart right in the first segment.
It was jalopy just rolling down the tracks, hubcaps falling off, the axle broke. Yeah. I don't even have my gumbo weather sweater on.
The team we didn't talk about only for a second is the Jags.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jags, and they say it in their locker room speech. Liam Cohen says it, small market team. And you know, it's so hard to respect. I think the respect that they don't get is probably because of his introductory press conference and the city he's in. But they were dominant. Now, I do think it's a little bit of a letdown spot slightly for the Broncos coming off the win they had last week, but still, they just keep smashing teams.
Now,
Well, and I know we talk about quarterbacks coming in their own and becoming what they're going to become. Like Drake May is probably the lead in that category, but Trevor Lawrence is becoming a dude in front of our eyes. Over the last month, Trevor Lawrence has been incredible.
Yeah, last month, 12 touchdowns, no picks. He leads the AFC in a ton of different categories. But the biggest difference to me in this game, for both teams, guys, the defense. I was pretty shocked to read this morning. Now, Dave, you don't strike me as a big, analytic number guy, but all the football nerds, they all talk about EPA as just being a metric for play-by-play success, whatever. The Broncos defense since week 11, 31st in the NFL in EPA. So this is a defense that we take for granted as still being among the best in the league, but we have a pretty large sample size of them not being that good. Who's first since week 11 in the league? The Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's Trevor Lawrence coming on and the defense playing at elite level. While, the Broncos' offense has actually been winning them games lately, and if the defense can't refine that form, their playoff threat takes a major hit, which I guess to your Patriots, Dave, all of a sudden that's got to feel pretty good that they seem to be rounding out of form as you and the Jags are coming in.
Yeah. Again, I think the AFC is wide open.
Super exciting.
I don't think we're going in and we're going to smash any of these teams. The Broncos, the Jags. I think these are all going to be knockout, drag out battles. I mean, the Steelers, I don't know what to make of them. They had a pretty big win yesterday. So the AFC is wide open. All I know is I'd rather my quarterback, and yes, Trevor Lawrence is playing better. But and I said it in real time, and I don't want to go too back in the memory bank. His national championship game, Clemson, was the worst performance I've ever seen. I think statistically, still to this day, the most overthrows, worst throws with guys open in the history of college football. I don't trust him in the huge game.
With time out. He also won a national title game as a freshman by 28 points.
Yeah, that was that defense, though, man. Woo!
They scored 44 points. He was incredible against. He beat Nick Saban in Alabama in his prime.
Yeah, that defense, man. They were loaded. They were everything. I didn't think that was him. I go back to the national championship. I'm just saying. I'm going to keep repeating.
I know.
I want my guy. If you said right now you can bet one team in the AFC to come out, I'm still taking my team. I don't know what they are right now. I have the Patriots at 35-1.
They're down to 9-1.
I think we're a well-rounded, good football team, but it's going to be a war. Anybody can beat anybody. These playoffs are going to be spectacular.
Agreed.
Do y'all think with the wide open nature, this may just be a dumb question, but does the 1 seed take on even greater importance than a normal given NFL year?
No, but if I'm somebody, to me, the team that's got to be excited and the quarterback's got to be excited is Josh Allen and the Bills.
Of course.
The boogeyman's gone. Mahomes is gone. The Chiefs are gone. They're in there, and these are good teams, but this isn't like the prime Kansas City Chiefs. They should be thinking right now, I'm the best quarterback in this. And whether he's right or he's wrong, the Bills should be the most excited right now.
The boogeyman might be gone, but there's still monsters under the bed.
It's true. And I'll also say the Bills are just one of those teams. Yeah, sure, they could make a run. They beat us last week. You look at those odds, same as Patriots. But every game they're in is a dogfight. They were in a dogfight with Cleveland yesterday. There's no team that you're like, oh, because the Bills defense isn't good enough. So who knows? Good enough to guarantee, like, they're going to be in every game. And it's going to come down to weird, wacky plays with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and down that determines who ends up in the Super Bowl. And it always is that way.
Speaking of weird, wacky plays, and I know you ended up winning, and Drake May ended up bringing everything back.
Pass interference?
No, the fake punt.
Oh, that was a bad play.
Yeah, you had to be, like, in the middle of the fourth quarter, the Patriots are trying to come back, and they do that fake punt. Drake May ends up overriding it and everything, but that was an odd decision at the time. I was like, what are they trying to do? And then Drake May's so good, it didn't matter.
Yeah, the weird thing about that is the spot for the call. I consider myself a football savant. I think most people would agree.
I don't.
So I was very much surprised that they faked the punt. Usually if you surprise me, I think you surprise the defense. Like, I didn't see it coming. The execution on the punt, not very good. I thought, Brandon, you were going to talk about that pass interference call that they did not call. I got to be honest. I really thank God that the Patriots came back and won. And really everybody who follows me on the internet should thank God, because I was getting ready to launch an attack that we haven't seen. I was in bed. I can barely stay. I was in bed. I was putting on my pants one at a time. Like, I can't believe I got to go to war. Like, I was getting my army helmet on. It's like, this is going to be an all-day thing trying to run this ref out of the country if he doesn't call this. I mean, if they lose. I mean, this is the worst no call I've ever seen.
That was one of those, like, is every ref on the field just waiting for another ref to call it? What is happening here? It's the most obvious thing. I guess it's the most obvious since the Rams and the Saints
Since the no call
title game. Like, nobody just thought to call it. What is this? He tackled him.
He absolutely got mauled. Tackled.
This is
Then
why
he still almost called it.
Sean Payton spent that entire offseason making pass interference reviewable. The refs pushed back, just refused to change it. He calls the next year, and now we're back here.
Yeah, so thank you that the Patriots, and everybody should be thanking. And I'm the most thankful because the amount of hours and time and sleep lost if the Patriots lost the game, and that really would have been a huge call if they lost. It would have been the game. So thank you for the Patriots having the fortitude to put that in the rearview mirror. Not a lot of quarterbacks do that. A lot of quarterbacks fold up the tent.
So one game we touched on real quick before break here, and we can update the playoff picture. But like you said, the Steelers getting a pretty massive win yesterday. Mike Tomlin's team, man. Right when you count Tomlin out, Rodgers seems to be coming on at the right time. Steelers get a massive win against Detroit, hand them their second loss in a row for the first time in over 3 years. Wild finish here as well. Crazy review played, OPI, whatnot, game over. But is the DK Metcalf fan punch actually the story here going forward?
I don't know what to make of that, man. It looks so weird. You know, during the game, I don't know what's going to come of it, but I make more of the end of the game.
Okay.
Like the end of the game being what it was, and there's DK Metcalf punching the fan.
I guess, do you lose him? How much does that actually matter?
I think maybe a game you lose him. Yeah. I don't know.
A game?
He didn't. There's another angle. He didn't
hit him, right?
Yeah, it's
a game.
It's more like a grab by the shirt and then you throw the guy back, but it's a bad look, dude. The NFL is going to be hyper.
What do you think, Dave? You think it's the rest of the season?
No, I listen. Am I morally offended by this? No, but I think the NFL, you absolutely cannot have your players going into the stands and creating contact. One game to me is a nothing. I think this is going to be a pretty severe penalty.
Damn. Maybe okay.
You don't agree with that? You think you could just?
I agree with you. The NFL being hypersensitive to it. I would hate for something that dumb, because like you said, I'm not morally offended by it. I would hate for that to have a big impact on the Steelers season, in which they really seem to be rounding into pretty good form, like when it matters most.
Yeah, at the most, he's gone the next two, I would say. I think you can miss a playoff game. I know people are, oh my gosh. I don't care. I'm saying what I think is going to happen. And to be honest, if I was Goodell, which obviously I'm good, he's bad, I'm a hero, he's a villain, so it's hard to put me in those shoes. But if I'm the head of the NFL, I think I take him out for a playoff game. You just got to send a message. You cannot engage with fans. That is a road you cannot go down, because if you only do one here and it happens again, I just think you got to really put your foot down. And I would. Again, I'm not morally offended by it, all right? But I think as the head of the league, you have to make a statement on something like that. I really do.
Yeah, I was approaching it like I'm not morally offended by it either, but you're probably right.
Yeah, all right, coming up next, guys, we got the football G-Spot with John Gruden, Greg Olsen. By the way, on the way out here, 5 NFC teams have now clinched. Seahawks, Bears, Eagles, Rams, Niners, the Broncos, and Patriots clinch in the AFC. We'll get to all of this and more throughout the rest of today's show. Don't go anywhere. More Wake Up Barstool. What's happening, guys? It's time for the best football segment that we do all week long. It is the Football G-Spot with John Gruden and Greg Olsen.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
All right, we got Greg and Coach now. I called this clip very late, so I don't know that we're going to be ready to play it. But if we can, I'd like to lead off with this clip from the past and get a quick reaction. Do we have it?
It's coming and gaining momentum, and you just feel them coming down the track. You know, and there's 3 teams that are going to win this week and keep gaining momentum, and it's going to be a powerful thing. I mean, think about this song, Fred. The train kept on running down the railroad track.
What? Not the words.
The Ravens and Bears
The
are
Ravens.
on the attack.
The Ravens,
Watch out for
the Ravens.
the
And he
Bears,
was singing this
and the
Johnny
Houston
Cash
Texans
song,
because
and he's telling us to watch out for the Ravens this, the Ravens that. He's singing Johnny Cash. Coach, the Ravens are dead. The Patriots put a stake in them last night. They're gone. What are you singing about today, Coach?
Well, good morning, Dave. Thanks for that nice treatment. You know, the fumble by Derrick Henry, Dave, they had you on the ropes. That fumble was big. They were slicing you up like Swiss cheese. I give Drake May a lot of credit. He is a badass. And I shouldn't swear, but this guy's a great player. Stephon Diggs got it going, made some great catches. The Raven defense, though, is unlike any Raven defense in the last 15, 20 years. They're really hurting on that side of the ball. And Drake May, good God, he made him pay. And Josh McDaniels, give him credit. He used that extra offensive lineman. Did you see Mumford in there playing tight end, blasting people? It was impressive, man. If you got Drake May, you got a chance to go a long way and win it. That's how good he is.
In this AFC, Greg, we've been talking about it, and I know you do the NFC games, but wide open. I mean, wide open. You got the Patriots, got the Bills, the Jags came. Still, nobody's really talking about except Liam Cohen, who harps on it every day. What is your thoughts on the AFC? The Steelers, I know you've been saying it's wide open. Who are you most impressed with this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think just this weekend in particular, I think obviously what New England did last night was awesome. Coming back, 10-point deficit. Seems like we see it more and more often now. Fourth quarter, 2-score leads. In past, those games feel like they're over this weekend. In 3 primetime games, we saw 3 teams come back double-digit, pretty late in the game. So I think what New England's doing, Drake, we've talked about him a lot all season long. Pretty remarkable turnaround. I actually have Jacksonville this upcoming weekend. I have Jacksonville at Indianapolis. So spent a little more time in that window yesterday watching Jacksonville just because I hadn't seen them all year and just putting some eyes on them. And to do that against a good Denver team who a lot of people were thinking they were the class of the AC. And, we've said this now for multiple weeks, that AFC, all the teams are good. I think all the teams can beat each other. I'm not sure there's one team that stands apart, but I think that AFC playoff picture now with 2 weeks to go is pretty fascinating.
What about, we talked about this in the early segment, Bears, obviously spectacular game. I fell asleep. I'm getting to that age. I stayed up till the 2-minute warning, and when I saw the final score, I'm like, what happened? I think the Bears are fool's gold. I think that game is one of those games you win, but you got dominated. The onside kick, people are asking me what I said. That was an easy onside kick. I don't know how he didn't catch it. It hit him between the 8 and the 7. Caleb makes a couple great throws. But do you believe in the Bears, Greg?
I've actually said this a few times on this show. You never apologize in the NFL for winning, for how you win. Every week, right? That cliche motto, and I'm sure coaches used it 1,000 times. Every coach, right? You're trying to win one game, and you find one way to win. You find a way to win one game, and you move on. Like all that cliche stuff that we hear all the time is true. I think over long periods of time, teams that rely on these one-score games. I just called the Washington Commanders game on Saturday before that Green Bay Chicago game, and you look at what they did last year on their way to the NFC Championship. Jaden Daniels was incredible. The season, everything kind of went their way. They went on a Hail Mary against Chicago. They have a crazy one-score games, win at the last second over long periods of time. Doesn't typically carry over year to year, but for right now, this moment in time, the manner in which Chicago's winning, doesn't matter about next year. It doesn't matter about, point differential and all that. So there is a magic in the real moment about what teams that understand they're never out of it. Again, you'd much rather win by 2 or 3 touchdowns handily. But Ben Johnson, man, there's a reason why in the last couple hiring cycles, he's the guy everybody wanted. And the job he's done in Chicago, maybe the closest coach of the year race that we've had in some time. You can make an argument for probably 4 or 5 guys that have done a remarkable turnaround in a very short period of time.
If you're a Lions fan, do you start worrying or looking that the Lions have a bad loss to the Steelers, couple controversial calls, but you lose Ben Johnson to the Bears, who rise instantly, and then your team, the Lions, starts slipping? Is that something? Is the coaching coordinators, can that make that big of a difference, Coach?
Well, coaching is a big part of it. There's no question. I mean, you look at the NFL right now, 4 of the worst teams in the NFL last year are in first place. You got to give Liam Cohen credit. You got to give Ben Johnson credit. I mean, you got to give Canale credit in Carolina. And hell, Mike Vrabel, first year. I mean, coaching matters. But what really matters is players. And when you watch the ball handed off to Jaylen Warren twice and nobody's there, they're missing both of these safeties. You can't replace Joseph and Brian Branch with 2 guys off the street. I mean, let's be honest. They're decimated again on defense. I would look into what's going on with all the injuries if I was involved with the Lions. That's 2 years in a row. We're missing our best players. The offense isn't really the problem. They can't stop a nosebleed right now.
2 guys who have been in the league, we discussed this one too, DJ Metcalf. So DJ Metcalf goes and grabs that Lions fan with the hair. We're debating what we think the penalty will be, what it should be. Now, there's 2 people who do not care for the commissioner of the NFL on this panel right now, me and Coach. But if you had to put yourself in his shoes, what would you be the penalty here? Greg, I'll start with you.
Yeah, it's a bad look. DK is a guy that I got to see kind of behind the curtain my last year, in out in Seattle, and he is a really good guy. He's got a good heart. He's got wears his emotions on his sleeve. But, I got to get to know DK, at kind of a more personal level, as opposed to just like viewing him from the outside. That's a bad moment, right? That's a moment that just cannot happen in the NFL. I'm sure he woke up this morning not feeling great about it. Is probably an understatement. You can't let your emotions, you can't let what people say, the crowd, people are saying crazy stuff. You walk into some stadiums, the things that you hear out of the crowd are incredible, but we get paid a lot of money, right? Some guys, a real lot of money. And the idea is you got to be able to operate in those environments without letting it get to you. I think he gets suspended. I do think there's
For
a
how long?
suspension.
Oh, I think he has to be suspended.
Yeah, I think he's suspended. I think again, off the top of my head, I don't know if he's had any past run-ins. I know he's had some scuffles on the field with players, but I think it's one game. Would I be shocked if it's the rest of the regular season? Obviously, 2 left, rest of the regular season, and let him play in the playoffs. That wouldn't shock me.
What about you, Coach?
Obviously, there's going to be a thorough investigation to what happened and why this could occur. I don't see many incidents like this. I've seen it happen in NBA games where there's some things in the crowd because they can hear and they're so close to the floor. But this was really uncommon, weird, and disturbing. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a significant fine and a suspension. And I'm sure DK regrets what happened yesterday big time.
I I think it's minimum 2. I think they could take him out for one playoff game. Again, I'm not morally opposed to it, but I just think they're going to be like, we absolutely cannot have our players in the field engaging with the fans and try to make a big thing for it. Now, this is kind of the Gruden Olsen Bowl. You were at the game, Greg, and I love chirping you. I look for anything. I thought you hit that drum perfectly. I thought the way you hit the drum, some guys go too hard on it, some guys too soft. You had a nice little baseball swing, happy to be there, not the biggest moment of your life type vibe, but a big moment. Can we play it? I was ready to be like, I'm going to get him. I thought you hit this drum pretty much as perfectly as you can hit a drum right here. Like nice, not too much, not too little. Really, really good job hitting the drum. And he got out in time.
Yeah.
Well, he practiced
about
it for 3 days. He was practicing that for about 3 days before he got there.
We do a lot of fungo with the kids, keeping that right elbow tight. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. I haven't gotten many compliments over the years, so appreciate that from you.
Good job.
But, it wasn't about me. That was a critical moment. So Carolina had just scored a touchdown with like 3 seconds left in the third quarter, and I was banging the drum between the third and the fourth quarter break. And so the crowd was awesome. They had just scored. They had the lead there entering the fourth. That is as good of a crowd as Carolina has had in years. It was cool to just be back and not actually have to call the game and not have to work. I got to just hang out with my boys and enjoy a day. It was a beautiful day. So it was a lot of fun. The crowd was really into it. It was good to see everybody. But again, it was not about me. That was not my moment. I was happy.
Well, that is your moment. It's your moment.
It was, but I didn't need to be like the alternative was you rip your shirt off and like choke. That didn't need to be
the Will Campbell, which I loved. Coach,
time and a place. There's a time and a place.
Since you started showing up to these Bucs games, they haven't won a game, Coach.
Nah, we beat Arizona when I was there, Dave. I'm 2-1 this year. I don't need to hear any more of your. I had a thought for you, though, Dave, this morning before we leave. Phillip Rivers is playing quarterback today. He's 45 years old, 44 years old. I was watching the Chiefs play yesterday without Mahomes, and then their backup got hurt. I think the Chiefs should bring back Mike Livingston to play quarterback these last couple games. I think the Washington Commanders, after Mariota got hurt, Jaden Daniels is out, they should bring in Joe Theismann for the last couple games. And I thought the Jets, after watching Brady Cook again yesterday, let's bring back Boomer Esiason just for the last 2 games. And I really think the Vikings, after your guy went down yesterday, I don't want to see the young kid anymore. Let's bring in Warren Moon for a couple dome games. That way everybody gets a chance to get excited again. Can you believe this Phillip Rivers tonight? It's awesome.
It's like those old commercials where they have like a Marino walking around with Emmitt Smith at the old person home. It is good to see. Appreciate you guys coming on. We're going to be lined up for an incredible fight. You know what? One question. Eagles, would it shock you if they made a run right now? I know, Greg, you called the game.
It wouldn't shock me at all. And that was kind of our closing conversation as the game got out of whack there in the fourth quarter on Saturday. The defense is playing as well as any defense in the league. They continue to get better and better and better. The issues they had early in the year were some of their ability up front to get after the quarterback. Jalen Phillips, great addition. Nolan Smith back healthy. Like that front, they'll get Jalen Carter back. It looks like this next week. That defense is as good as any defense in the playoffs obviously plays. And then you just don't give up on talent. Offensive talent, Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Hurts. Lane Johnson will be back at right tackle. The offense is littered with top-tier players. It hasn't always gone right. They haven't been as good this year overall. But if they get hot, that defense and the talent on the offense, it wouldn't shock me at all.
They're a scary team. Coach, what do you think? Who you got coming out of the NFC?
I still like Seattle. I said it last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about that Seattle Ram game, but don't punt the ball in the middle of the field to Rashid Shaheed. Don't do it. Yeah. That was not a good move by the Rams, but Sam Darnold, I think, is going to get a great amount of confidence after beating the Rams, a team that had his number. I really think Seattle's dangerous.
Well, we got a lot to look forward to. The Eagles make me nervous. I may go Eagles Patriots right now if you had to pick something. I come from a world until the champs are dead, and they're sort of rounding into shape, and all those guys getting healthy, they're dangerous. But thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
All right. Appreciate it.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Cheers.
There it is, guys. Another excellent football G-Spot. Merry Christmas. We got more Wake Up Barstool on the other side. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. College football playoffs started over the weekend and pretty much went down like a lot of us expected it. Two pretty good games against the more competitive teams and two absolute blowouts with the G5 teams. I think I want to start with the actual games before we get into the playoff conversation and what needs to change and whatnot. I think that's a bit more fun. And so let's start then with the best game of the weekend. It was sloppy, but it was exciting, and it was in an elite environment. It was at Kyle Field, College Station, Miami, Texas A&M.
You have that as the best game, better than Alabama, Oklahoma?
I agree with Dave. I thought the Alabama-Oklahoma game was better.
Y'all thought that was better?
Passed out when you said it was the 0-0 halftime, 3-0 was the best game of the.
I guess I always frame things through a how competitive was the game lens. And while Alabama's comeback was very impressive, maybe the most impressive part was it didn't feel terribly competitive. Like when Alabama took control of that game felt so clearly over. Whereas, A&M Miami, you're talking about Marcel Reed on the verge of becoming a hero. He makes the right read on that final interception. Just his seventh awful throw of the day ends up blowing it right when the Aggies. That stadium was on the verge of exploding.
Yeah, so I was at the Jake Paul fight and was only following the Alabama-Oklahoma game via score updates. So maybe, it seemed like an electric game from 17-0. I watched every play of that other game, the Miami Texas A&M. That was a brutal game to watch.
Yeah, to me, the Miami A&M game was technically closer, but Alabama Oklahoma was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was a slop fest in the middle. Alabama took control late, but it was 27-24.
Okay. Let's start Alabama Oklahoma then, and I'll say what I said on Roughness on Saturday, which is, and if I'm saying this about the Tide, you can trust it. Like, this is one of the most mentally and physically tough performances I've seen to go down 17-0 in that environment, come back and dominate, and again, in the context of they haven't really played good football for a month. For a month, they've been backsliding. They've been questioning themselves. How good are we actually? And at their absolute lowest point, they found a way to come back, take over on the road, and gain some real momentum heading into the next round.
And this is what they haven't shown under Kalen DeBoer is mental toughness. When Florida State started pounding them earlier this year, they just laid back and took it. And then Oklahoma did the same thing. Oklahoma got outgained by 250 yards, but once they took a lead in Tuscaloosa, it was over. This time, it was not. But I will say, as much championship DNA and toughness as it appeared they provided on Friday night, Oklahoma just kind of handed it to them. Mateer was awful. That was one of the worst pick sixes you'll ever see. The muff punt, it was 17-0, and then it was 17-17 and a breath. It happened that fast, and as soon as that happened, Oklahoma didn't have the quarterback to compete.
Yes, Meek.
When it was 17-0, I'm going through Brandon Walker's tweets. It's a route. Oklahoma is going to blank word them. Word Bama football
stupid
season.
Okay. I'm going to give. I'll come to you.
Unbelievable what the boy has done now.
Brandon had this.
Can we stop now? But Notre Dame
had this game read perfectly pregame. He called it on every single show last week. Okay, yes. The 17-0 game flow caused a little bit of a crisis of confidence, but he had this Alabama-Oklahoma game nailed.
Oh,
you're trying to win a bet.
Credit for having it right.
No. Let me stop, Dave. Let me
when you release the nukes.
Let me just say this. I knew going in, I said going in, I have this clip, I have every clip. Alabama's a better football team than Oklahoma. They're going to win this football game, and they did. When they fell behind 17-0, and I've got Alabama money line, I've got every bet in my arsenal on Alabama, I'm just freaking out. And this is like, Kalen DeBoer's going to Michigan. This team sucks. I hate them. And I turned that bet around. So, Meek, thank you for pointing out that I turned that bet around. Yep. I think you're stupid and you shouldn't be here. But thank you very much for showing that I was right.
All right, that's fair. I've been there. That's fair. When you have a big bet, when you have a big conviction is going sideways, you'll do anything. So I have no problem with that.
Fought through it.
Yeah, and again, from the Oklahoma perspective, I mean, Brandon talked about it. I went and rewatched this in the All-22 play-by-play, and like John Mateer just, man, his mechanics are awful. The Kane Womack Alabama defense, they're going to play. They don't allow big plays. Right? They play zone coverage. They take advantage of their just raw athleticism and NFL talent. They make you try to earn it every single play underneath. And Mateer looked terrified to try to pick that defense apart from a passing perspective. He had no run support whatsoever. Oklahoma's pass blocking. I mean, Womack completely manipulated their rules. I don't think the left side of the line has ever passed off a twist in their life. It was a disastrous offensive performance from the Sooners.
Truth of the matter
Moving
is
forward, I think the trendy thing right now because of this is going to be Bama.
No,
Bama.
I love Indiana.
I think Indiana may smash this.
I think Mendoza is perfectly suited to picking apart this defense in the same way that John Mateer could not. And the Indiana defense, everybody wants to hate. Like, Oklahoma's defense is awesome. Indiana's defense is right there with them, if not maybe even more consistent.
I'm surprised. I thought the SEC people, homers, would all say, watch out for Bama. Walker, what do you got?
He's all over.
Nobody hates Alabama more. Nobody has danced on Alabama's grave earlier in the season more. I think Alabama has a ceiling that is as high as a lot of teams in this playoff. I think their ceiling is very, very high. They walked into Athens earlier this year, then they beat Georgia. That is not a small win. They had a 6-week stretch where they were the best team in the country. So I know they didn't play well towards the end of the season, and I know it's easy to laugh at them, but Indiana, first Rose Bowl in 1,000 years, if they acted like they won the Super Bowl when they beat Ohio State, I think this is danger. I think this is a dangerous spot for Indiana against Alabama.
This is what I thought. That is the speech that I expected every single human to give, and I don't think it's going to. I think Indiana beats them pretty thoroughly, and I think that line actually makes me feel that even more. Like I kind of thought this would be around 3.5, 6.5. To me, they're saying, "Hey, Brandon Walker, we love that rant. Put all your hard-earned money on Alabama and watch them lose by 20, 30. That's what I feel.
See, and that's your uneducated feeling. I am the number one ball knower in America. So if I give that speech and I'm impassioned,
personality.
And if I am impassioned and give that speech, people should listen. I gave the speech about Alabama before Oklahoma, and everybody still bet on Oklahoma. So what do you want me to do?
Listen, I've seen Alabama play at the Rose Bowl. I was there last time they were in the Rose Bowl. They played a team from Michigan. I had $1 million cash on Michigan, and they proved me right. So nobody knows Alabama Rose Bowls more than me.
And Alabama lost in overtime in that game. Was a good point. Alabama lost in overtime to a team that was cheating. So if they can do that,
pick 'em. That game was a pick 'em, or maybe even +1 or -1. I forget. It's close.
This will be settled on the field. I'm with you, though, Dave. I think Indiana is a perfect matchup for taking advantage of Alabama's weaknesses. Now, Texas A&M Miami. That's cool.
Sure,
we get into this one. Look, this was. Let's start with.
It was garbage. It was garbage flavored garbage covered in garbage, is what it was.
Horrible.
Yes, but the defenses were really good. The
quarterbacks were bad.
Awful special teams. Yeah, and a bit of that was defense force. But yeah, I mean, Marcel Reed had and Carson Beck. They both sucked. They both were wildly inaccurate. Reed just made a bit more mistakes with his inaccuracy than Beck did. Beck was playing so risk-averse. But I think it's important to highlight Miami here and Mario Cristobal. I've been the #1 Cristobal hater for years. I've called him Christofraud. To go into that environment, and I don't care how sloppy it was, to find a way within the game flow to make the adjustment, say, okay, you know what, nothing's working but running the ball. Let's pound it down their throat. Let's rely on this defense, and to find a way to win a playoff game. No other way around it. It's just a massive statement win for his career, for that program, and for a guy, Danny Boy, who did not get attacked by a bear.
Huge. And you know who I love? I sat next to him at the fight, Michael Irvin. I love Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin, first of all, he was watching the Oklahoma game on his phone during the thing. I said, I thought you'd be in Texas. He goes, oh, don't you worry, I'm getting there. I love Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin doing belt to ass at the end of the game in the barrel with the crowd watching and cheering him on. He gave a smooch to Cristobal on the side. Good for Miami. Big win. And there is certainly, if you're a Miami fan, you're not apologizing for anything. You 10-3 win. You go into rowdy Kyle Stadium. You get the win. Great. Now you're going to play Ohio State. Different can of worms, clearly. Now, does Ohio State focus on this game? Or are they too busy about redacting legal documents in questions about me and how they deal with Michigan and me? I don't know if you guys saw that side story.
I was hoping it would turn to you.
Well, there was a legal inquiry into Ohio State and how they dealt with me when I was there with the Fox Big Noon Kickoff. And it looks like the JFK files. Every answer is redacted and lawyers and this and that. So if you're an A&M, I mean, if you're Miami, you got to hope that they're still focused on me and on the game. I think Ohio State's going to be very tough for Miami.
To praise Miami, they went into an SEC team's house and bullied them at the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
And there's nothing to sneeze at there. That being
Shout out Fletcher.
That being said, Texas A&M was a fake, phony fraud the entire time.
They are
who we thought they were. They had the big win against Notre Dame, the referee-aided win against Notre Dame earlier in the season, but they played their first 7 SEC games against the bottom 7 teams in the conference. That'll never happen again in a million years, that your first 7 games will be against the bottom 7 teams in the conference. The second they played Texas and the second they played Miami, offense could do nothing. Marcel Reed, a bad quarterback. They can't go forward with this guy at quarterback. They were a phony fraud from the beginning.
Yeah, they are the winners of this year's Schedule Merchant Award. Marcel Reed is interesting to me. I'm not quite as low as maybe you and Liam, but this is another game. The G5 games are so bad that I caught myself just watching the film of the big ones, right, to really try to pick it apart. Reed, the book's out on him. If you have the dogs, which Texas did, Miami did, you rush 4, you play coverage, discipline rush lanes, with the zone coverage, kind of build in a spy, and he cannot beat you with his arm. He's not accurate enough, and then his legs can't get it done on their own either. And so, like,
if you're an A&M fan, how do you feel after that game? Because I don't think necessarily you thought you were a playoff team. Then you have this great run. You're up to, 2 or 3 in the country.
Yeah.
You lose your last 2, your arch rival. This game, to me, when you have a home game and you don't score a touchdown, it ruins almost the whole season.
Well, and you lost to Texas.
You're saying a hypothetical, but Dave, you got to realize, and you know this better than anybody, they're a cult. They're not thinking logically about this. They are a cult.
Well,
so whatever logic you would use and whatever logic I would use goes out the window with these guys.
But.
That's fair.
But when they lay their head down on the pillow at night.
Still a cult.
When they lay their head down at the pillow at night and it's just them and their God, I know their real feelings come out.
I'll get an answer because even down here in the Keys, there's a Starbucks, and somehow I'm on the same schedule as this guy. Drives a blue pickup truck. He wears an A&M college shirt every time. He's only an A&M, and every single time I see him, he acts like we haven't met, and we talk for 15 minutes about A&M. So when I go get my next coffee, I'll ask him, is the season a win or a loss? And we'll get an answer.
He's going to say win, though. That's what I'm saying, Dave. They're going to say win.
We'll get the truth. I'll put him on camera. I'll go, we're going to put you on Wake Up Barstool next week. Is it a win or a loss? And it'll be exactly what I say. A white button-up, little A&M. All he talks about A&M football.
It is a win because they went to the playoff, but it's a loss in the sense that they weren't good enough.
It's no different than it's just for them, they have to feel insecure about how little of a difference it was from their normal 8-4 run.
Yeah, but
you lost to Texas, you get blown out in the playoff. Like, yes, they're going to say they're going to put on a brave face and tell themselves, no, we were awesome, we were better, this is step in the right direction. And objectively it is. But my God, you found the one avenue to ruin the season. Like there was one pathway to ruining the season after the start that they had, and they found it.
They were an 8-4 team that had an 11-win schedule.
Yeah, it's a loss in the sense that the season's a complete illusion, and making the playoff is a facade, and it tricks you into thinking you could go forward with a quarterback that 130 other programs are foaming at the mouth for you to run it back with next fall. Like, congratulations, you played yourself, and you've ruined 2026 too.
That might be a little aggressive.
Liam, get their ass to
2026 done.
The honest truth hurts, but they won the women's volleyball national championship, so I'm happy for Aggie.
Well, don't they have a meat watching dynasty as well?
Meat judging.
Meat judging.
Not
sorry,
meat watching.
Meat watching is the yell leader.
It's also, if you're A&M, the further you go, more people pay attention to yell leaders, and that's a loss.
All right, hour 2 coming up next, guys. We got Michigan head coach Dusty May kicking it off. Stick right here on Wake Up Barstool, FS1. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. You see Dave made the hat switch. He's got the Michigan hat on, and why not? because we are talking to maybe the hottest coach in all of college basketball right now, Michigan basketball head coach Dusty May, 11-0, ranked number 2 in the country. All the advanced statistics have him as number 1. It is as hot of a start of any team in the country. Maybe it's school history. Coach May, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning.
Not much, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, so, take us through it, man. I know coaches, you generally
Can I interject here, T-Bob?
What's that?
I just want to read a quote that Dusty May said, and I want it to ring from coast to coast, because there's a lot of people attacking the Block M for a variety of reasons right now, and you never hear them mention Dusty May, and you never hear them mention how good this basketball team is. And I'm going to answer what Dusty said, because he gets asked about what's going on with the football side of things. He says, I don't have the solutions for the world's problems, but man, if we just all tried to be better human beings and better world civilians and whatnot, I think we all have as much greater impact. That's really about it. And that is the Michigan man credo that I've been saying is still very much alive. I see you, Walker, your hands in your head. I don't know what you're getting mad about. That's a great quote. If we can all strive to do a little bit better and be better humans, and that's what we're about.
Hey, great quote, Coach. You seem like a great coach and a great guy. The fact Dave Portnoy would be furious if we were talking to a college basketball coach during the playoff and we were saying, wow, great quote, Coach. Terrific. Way to go, man. Like, if anybody else was doing this, he'd be mad at us. But go ahead, Dave. Have fun.
No, listen, I will admit, there's been a couple, hey, you want this college basketball coach, this college basketball coach?
You said no.
I said, we're a little early. We're in college football season. But the things that are going on with this Michigan basketball team, Brandon Walker, they're not just beating people. They're beating them by 50. They're playing teams that are highly ranked. We've never seen a team like this. So when you have an opportunity to have a coach, it has nothing to do with my alliances or allegiances, but Dusty May is doing something special, and we had the opportunity to go on. Coach, this team, did you see this coming? I mean, they are playing, and I said it, obviously, I almost am worried you're going to be peaking too soon, but man, you're playing great basketball.
Yeah, when this team came together and we started practicing in the summer, we felt like we had a chance to be one of the best teams in the country. And then we had several injuries, so we never really practiced together or played together, and we got off to a slow start in our exhibition games and didn't look like we do now. But once we got into it, we had a couple games early that we struggled, that we found ways to win when we felt like we played relatively poorly. And then, we knew we were on the verge of a breakthrough, and it happened in Vegas. And then once we really started clicking, the guys have really fed off of each other, and they're having fun and working really hard.
Well, and Coach, this is what I want to ask you, because I know that for a lot of coaches, you get a little skittish about this, but, all this early season success, now you're on here, like you said, breaking through the kind of football veil. We're singing your praises, incredible, statistically dominant, historically. How do you keep your team from the proverbial rat poison?
Well, the daily messaging is probably the most important thing we do now. And we had an 8-day break between our last game and LaSalle last night. And so I'm just watching every day just to see how we walk in the gym, if we still have the desire to work and compete and practice and do the little things. And that hasn't changed. Obviously, it can creep in at any moment. But we have a team that is the unselfishness is contagious. And I've told the guys repeatedly, if you start becoming selfish or making it about yourself, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb on this team because of the collective unselfishness. So we have a group that works hard. I think they enjoy the way we're doing it right now. They're sharing the success, they're sharing the sacrifice, and ultimately, if we can do that for the next couple months, we're going to be playing very meaningful games late.
I'm
going to ask. Oh, go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, I have a more important question than yours. I'm glad that you used the word unselfish there, and then you used the word you don't want guys just being stars and being unselfish and better than the team. Are you concerned at all that Dave Portnoy, as you go further into the season, maybe you get number 2, number 1, you get even higher? Are you concerned he's going to make it all about him as the Michigan man, and he's going to be the guy that takes the credit for all this?
Now, Dave puts a big spotlight on the University of Michigan, and we appreciate that. So.
And this is a real question, actually, I have for a coach.
That was too.
There is a lot clearly swirling at Michigan with the athletic department, the coaching search. do you feel any extra pressure to represent the university? I mean, everyone loves you, speaks highly of the program's cooking, but we're under attack, frankly. Michigan is under attack, and you're one of our lead guys. Do you feel any of that pressure?
I would say pressure. I'd say responsibility, that when things are the way they are now today, that we need to perform and play in a way that our fan base is proud of us and excited for us, our former players, our alumni, everyone. And as soon as we hire a new coach, that's all going to be behind us, and we're going to be moving forward to building a championship football program as well. So, but in the meantime, without a doubt, we've enjoyed being a positive for the university and everyone that roots for Michigan.
Yeah, and we need it. So I appreciate it. I thank you because, man, it's been quite a time, and I'm sure, like you said, you're so busy, but it's crazy to turn it on. So keep killing it. And Brandon Walker is right. As this thing progresses towards February, March, you're going to see a lot more Dave Portnoy around. You're going to see a lot more of Dave Portnoy. We may have to break out those basketball school jerseys I had not too long ago. They're getting the printer fired up. But appreciate you coming on, Coach, and obviously rooting hard for you. And thanks for everything you're doing right now for the university. We need it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Really do. Big fan.
You the man, Coach. Thank you so much. Coach Dusty May, again, a legendary start from this Michigan basketball program conference play.
Yeah.
Coming up, though, man.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah.
They're hell of a.
Beyond nasty. I met him when he was at FAU, and funny, we were just happened to be at his hotel. We were following it. I thought it was FDU. So FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson, they just beat Purdue, which I predicted outright. The first 16 seed, I predicted it. And they all come back to the hotel, and I'm taking pictures. I'm going, I predicted it. It was the wrong team. No one even corrected me in the lobby. They're like, what's this guy talking about?
But that was their Final Four run, was it not?
Yes.
Wait, what was the what was the kind of general tenor? And I'm not the biggest college basketball guy. What was the general tenor when May was hired?
Great hire.
Massive,
fantastic
hire.
Okay,
Indiana fans wanting to burn down the building.
That's right.
Still, I'm sure. Listen, I bet those Indiana. I bet there isn't, because he went there. I bet there's not a day that goes by that they're not trying to steal him. I think he loves it. Well, listen, we need him right now. I'm not joking about what I said. There's a lot of bad stuff, bad negativity, the coaching search. I don't know if we're going to talk about this later with Michigan, but there's a lot going on at Michigan right now that I don't particularly have answers for. The only thing you can hold your hat on is Dusty May and this basketball team right now. So he's a godsend. And we need it.
Yeah, and we still got it coming up. We got more Michigan coach search talk. We got Paul Joshua talk coming up. NFL, Coach Gruden Shredline. So don't go anywhere, guys. Grab yourself a coffee. Let's continue to enjoy this very festive edition of Wake Up Barstool here on FS1.
That was such a great quote about what it is to be Michigan, man.
Welcome back to WUB. We do it every Monday. Coach John Gruden Shredline.
Love that. Cut you like a surgeon. Lead them streets burning, burning, burning. Shred, shred, shred. Shred, shred, shred.
Good morning. I love that song. Let's start by shredding the college playoff committee that picked this tournament. I mean, did you watch the Mississippi Tulane game? Was that this weekend, or was that in September when they already beat them 45-10? I can't stand that Tulane was in this tournament and Notre Dame is sitting at home. And then how about this James Madison Oregon game? What was I watching? You mean we're not having Arch Manning or Pavia? We're letting James Madison in the tournament? You got to get this thing squared away, man. What the hell's going on? But on a good note, how about some positive shreds from the Philadelphia Eagles? You know, everybody's on Jalen Hurts, and all he does is throw 24 touchdown passes. That's a career high, by the way, and he handed the ball off to Saquon Barkley. Did you see Barkley come alive on this run? 160 yards, 6 yards a carry. Look out, man. The world champions are awake. And I love watching the Chicago Bears. How about the job that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are doing? This walk-off bomb
Oof.
That put the Packers away, man. The Bears have not had any success against the Packers over the years, but welcome Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. The Bears have a head coach quarterback battery for the first time in a long time. And how about Justin Herbert, man? Did you see Justin Herbert yesterday annihilate the Cowboys? 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. And if you play press coverage against Quentin Williams, he will light you up. The Chargers are dangerous. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are my favorite team right now. What they did in Denver yesterday, 275 yards from Trevor Lawrence, 3 touchdowns. Who is Parker Washington? They're doing it without Travis Hunter. They took him with the number 2 overall pick and traded a 1 next year. He ain't even playing. Jacoby Myers, Liam Cohen, get a ticket. And I love, my last shred is just for Dave Portnoy. Drake May. Did you see Drake May last night? 380 yards. How about this back shoulder throw to a tight end? Stephon Diggs is the real deal. Mike Vrabel, Josh McDaniels know how to win. But you guys are lucky as a dog with 12 bones in your bucket to go from Tom Brady to Drake May. What a shred job last night putting the Ravens to sleep. I love football.
Absolutely a brilliant shred. That was a brilliant shred. That was an Emmy award-winning shred there at the end. I'm telling you, this Drake May guy, we sell a little pitch. We sell, for anybody who wants it, we sell Drake Brady T-shirts. It's a new item in the store right now, but we truly are blessed in New England. Thank you, Coach.
Coach, I wanted to ask you a bit of a, because like too often we don't unlock your scheme mind on this show. When you look around the NFL right now, you look like the Rams, right? Ton of 13 personnel, more than anybody in the entire league. I think the Steelers have been doing a ton of it. Like the Lions obviously made hay here. That's now been brought to Chicago as well. And for those who know, 13 personnel, 3 tight ends on the field. What is it about that format? Am I wrong? Am I wrong to highlight this as kind of the current NFL trend? And then what is it about the position that this personnel grouping is putting defenses in that it's able to have so much success right now?
Well, the big thing is 13 personnel pretty much forces you to play a base defense. And not a lot of defenses even practice their base defense anymore because everything is nickel. And with this new collective bargaining agreement where we're not allowed to practice for more than 40 minutes a day, it's hard to get anything practiced enough. And when you have tight ends, as you know, that are versatile guys, not your standard old-fashioned C-gap pass protecting blockers. You have tight ends now that can line up in the slot at wide receiver. We did a lot of it with Darren Waller when I was in Vegas. You can really mismatch a linebacker or a safety if you have these tight ends that I call jokers, guys that are good in any formation. But it forces you to play a base defense. And if you're a linebacker and the offense comes out of the huddle, the defense has to make a close call to get everybody lined up. Close right if that's the strength, or close left if that's the strength. Well, all of a sudden you come out with 3 tight ends. What do you do when 2 tight ends are on the left and you got Puka Nacua and another tight end on the right? What's the strength of the formation? The running strength, the passing strength, and then they start shifting and motioning, and good God, you have Matt Stafford throwing missiles against formations and plays that you've never seen before, you've never practiced against. You get your butt kicked, and it takes a lot for Mike McDonald, for instance, on a short week. Can you imagine preparing for all that stuff on a Thursday night game? That's why I hate Thursday night football. I don't know if that helped. I don't know if that helped answer any question.
No, that was an awesome.
Listen, one thing I know, when Coach starts ranting and raving, it's going to end with he hates Thursday night football. that you know is going to be how it ends.
Thursday night football, Dave, I hate it because you can't get the guys recovered physically and you can't practice. I also hate games that are played in foreign lands. I hate that. But I do think that the Jets and the Giants, based on what I saw yesterday, they should play every Thursday night in Madrid or Berlin.
What do you think about Saturday? I don't like Saturday NFL.
I don't like Saturday, especially this time of year. I mean, when you got to sit there and watch Indiana play Alabama and flip over to watch an NFL game. What the hell are we doing? 2 Monday night games, Thursday night game. You belong on Sunday. You belong on Sunday.
Agreed.
Coaches getting overstimulated with all the ball.
Yeah, it's too much.
No, it's too much. Let the college kids have their day. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Coach, okay, real quick then. How do you combat that? Going to the playoffs, like you said, 13. Is it just having dogs? Is it just having athletic enough guys to be able to keep up with the tight ends? Like if you are McDonald, and he's done a really good job for the most part, but are there any other defenses capable of matching up?
Well, I think so. I think the more somebody puts it on tape, the more they put it on tape, the more you're going to get a chance to study it and make your rules. You've got to have a meeting and you got to show your players what people are doing out of that personnel grouping. Nobody does it. So it's so exclusive to the Rams. The Steelers have been doing it with an extra tackle playing tight end. But the more you put it on tape, the better these defensive coaches will get. But what do you emphasize? What do you emphasize in your minutes that you have to prepare in the meeting room and on the practice field? Are you going to sit there and spend your whole day on 13 personnel? Hell no. You got to defend bunch formations and no back sets. You got to have red zone, short yardage, goal line. You got all these things to cover. I think defenses are going to obviously, as the playoffs are looming, they're going to have to spend more time on 13 personnel somehow.
Coach, ending of the Lions-Steelers game yesterday, pretty wild. Where you have this, you have the OPI thrown, a wild lateral Jared Goff. It looks like he's in the end zone. What was your breakdown of all that? Correct call made by the referees? You feel like they handled this process correctly? Took a long time.
It took a long time. And, Carl Cheffers, I think he was the white hat yesterday. Was he not?
I don't know. Yes, he was. He was. Yes,
was.
confirmed.
And he leads the league, and his crew leads the league in penalties. They obviously like taking control of the game and making decisions like this. But I didn't think Goff should have been awarded a touchdown. I thought forward progress was clearly stopped.
Yeah.
And St. Brown did push off at the top of his route. I thought it was a legitimate good call and a gutty call by the referees in that particular instance. But what they had to unwrap there and solve was pretty awesome. Was it a touchdown? Was it offensive pass interference? Talking about the runoff, how the game could end. They did a hell of a job, I think, sorting that out and getting it right.
I thought that was the right call. That was a pretty egregious offensive pass interference. Listen, if you're going to call OPI, it has to be egregious. That was egregious. We've seen some that it's like, what are you doing? This is hand fighting on every single play. But that was a worthy call. I mean, that was fair. That was a fair call.
And it's always fair hanging out with Coach Gruden here on a Monday. Coach Gruden, Shredline Coach, thank you so much, man. We will talk to you again
guys.
later in the week. Merry Christmas, brother.
Merry Christmas, guys.
All right, coming up next, stock up, stock down. Can I survive without getting a stock down this week? We'll see.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, you're not on the list. I got a good list.
Yeah,
Let's go.
You're doing well.
Let's go. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. We do it every week. It's time for Davey Day Trading Global Stock Up, Stock Down. And we'll go with our resident day trader extraordinaire. Dave, what's on the docket this week?
Yeah, so I think I got a pretty good list. I like this segment. Stock up, we'll start there. Obviously, Drake May and the Patriots. Spectacular performance. The Jags, Liam Cohen. People are making fun of them beginning of the season. They've gotten no respect. They're playing great. This one could be controversial. I haven't talked about it. I think Jake Paul, stock up. I said it after. I think if you don't respect what he did, get in the ring with Anthony Joshua, getting his jaw broken, you got to dump in his pants. So I respect Jake Paul. He made a ton of money, and his face is broken. Michael Irvin, I sat next to him, love the guy, stock up. He's at the fight. He's watching the game on his phone. He's at the Texas A&M Miami game the next day. He's doing belt to ass. He is a genuine, true A1 fan. I like Michael Irvin. Abella Danger, the porn star. She was shown all over the Miami game. Probably got a lot of new subs. Her stock is up. Homeland, which is on Netflix. One of my favorite shows of all time. I'm rewatching it. I haven't watched it for like 15, 16 years. It's like watching it for the first time. I forget what's happening. One of my favorite shows. Homeland, stock down. Lions, brutal loss. Urban Meyer's publicity team, stock down. They put it out a memo that I didn't pay the $1,000 bet he and I had. I was waiting for an address. This thing went viral. Like, I'm not paying $1,000 for them beating. So the check is out there. They should correct that. Ohio State as a university redacting all their legal files so nobody can see whether they banned me that first week. Newsflash, if you bring in a lawyer and redact the files, I think it's pretty obvious what happened. Going to sleep early, stock down. I did it 2 nights in a row. I'm getting old. I wake up early. I get dogs. I missed 2 unbelievable games, endings. Rams, Seahawks, Bears, Packers. Missed them both. I'm just not going to sleep. I took Adderall this morning because of the Patriots last night. I'm going to have to get back on the Adderall diet. Maybe I'll get skinny. That'd be a stock up. Michigan coaching search. I don't know what the hell's going on. I know we could have had Dillingham. Decided not. Hopefully we're waiting for DeBoer. People at Michigan tell me to relax, calm down. They got it under control. I don't know if you have it under control. Lastly, my TD parlay, DraftKings, I do it every single week. I'm 0-16. How many weeks have we done? I've lost every which way. TD's called back. Quarterbacks throwing touchdown passes who aren't the starter. Jason Hill throws when I walk in. Stock down on that. That's stock up, stock down.
Brandon, you're up next.
All right, my stock up. I got 2 stock ups. I got 2 stock downs. Stock up number 1, the Ja'Day Walker Airwalk celebration. I know there's probably a name for this, a slang name for this. I don't know what it is. He did it last year in college against Mississippi State, and I thought it was the coolest thing I ever saw, but I couldn't mention it because it was against Mississippi State. And now he does it. Imagine the feeling of catching that pass on 4th and 4 in front of 80,000 people on that cold night, catching the Packers going overtime, and then doing the coolest celebration in sports. It looks so damn cool.
I've watched so many YouTube videos trying to understand
it. It's so awesome.
I can't wrap my head around
And I hope this guy scores 80 touchdowns in the NFL.
I see the airwalk again.
It looks like they're floating, Dave. It kind of boggles the mind.
This touchdown celebration needs to be the new thing. It needs to be the new gritty. I don't know that many guys that know how to do it very well. Just being able to do this, look how smooth it is. And we apparently only have 0.5 seconds of it, but that's okay.
Because I wasn't impressed by that clip.
It is. Brandon's right. I agree.
My second stock up, Frank the Tank, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Looks like they're getting together very soon for a pump. Shout out to, I know Frank's doing his thing and he's lost so much weight. Shout out to Jinx. Jinx, you need to be given the Congressional Medal of Honor or Nobel Prize or something. The work that you have done to help Barstool and Frank the Tank is amazing. My stock down, number 1, and this is no shot at the guy. Jake Paul knows how to make money. He knows how to make us watch. The fight was admirable, but stock down Jake Paul's jaw. This has to be the worst time of year with all the Christmas snacks and everything you could be eating to have a broken jaw. What a shot. What an incredible punch, just right to the jaw. Just imagine standing there and taking it. I know he got $90 million or whatever he got, but my goodness, what a shot. And having a broken jaw this time of year has to be terrible.
You can still watch this fight on Netflix worldwide, Brendan.
And my second stock down is Stadium Wi-Fi. Because Stadium Wi-Fi in Oxford, Mississippi kept us from seeing the incredible content that we got on Saturday night from when Ben Mintz went to the playoff game 9 hours later. And you asked the question, could he have gone to the press box and hooked up to the press box Wi-Fi and taken 30 seconds and done his job? Sure. But what? You can't cage a bird like that.
No.
And 9 hours later at 2:30, I wasn't going to sleep until I got it. And once I got the video from Ben Mintz at Ole Miss, I was like, Stadium Wi-Fi's got to go because we got to get this stuff earlier. What a performance.
Stock up, Mincy. Here I am trying to...
Stock up the year 2020, by the way. I don't know if you saw this tweet. Stock up the year 2020 because he said he tweeted out, 2025 is one of the greatest years of my life, second only to 2020.
I mean, here Ben is, I go see the Nutcracker through Game Time yesterday. Shout out. It was great. I'm like, oh man, I got to get my video uploaded, make sure I do right by the advertiser. Ben's video's got 2 million views.
That's Dave.
2 million views. I got the Dave and Big Cat bump. Our guy doing numbies. Stock up, Mincy. All right, stock up. Tom Brady. I thought he was awesome on the call Saturday. I think he's rounding into form, man. I thought he met the moment. I thought his insights were great, breaking down Caleb's play. I loved Tom on the call in Burkhardt Saturday. Stock up the Caleb Williams walk-off throw and Selly. To throw that ball, hands in the pockets as it hangs in the air for 50 yards, the walk-off winner, that was cool as hell. Stock up New Orleans sports guys.
Oh, God.
Saints, how about it? Saints 3-0, Pelicans 4-0. Tyler Shuck, Derek Queen, Jeremiah fears the young stars are here. Stock up. Tyler Shuck, Brandon. I mean, what were we talking? 4-3 as a starter on this Saints team. Rest of the rookie quarterbacks in the NFL, 7-33, now second in Rookie of the Year numbers. Let's go, Tyler Shuck. Saints got a quarterback. Stock down. Me, as a man, as I moved into my new house 5 months ago. Friday, all of a sudden, house is very cold. What's going on? Stove's not working. I never set up my gas. And the gas company shut it off Friday afternoon, refused to come out all weekend. They're now refusing to come out till tomorrow. My poor kids are freezing their ass off. It's 45 degrees in the home. I am a failure as a man. But that should be illegal, right? You can't shut off my gas in the middle of the winter.
You should pay a bill every now and then.
No, it's not about the bill.
And the gas companies, to be honest, they give you a lot of leeway. They send a lot of notes. We didn't get a note because we never set up.
You've been in the house for 6 months.
We never set up the account. That was the problem. So they thought, no, I think that's.
You thought you were going to get free gas the rest of your life?
I thought it was paying it. I don't know. Stock down me though, obviously. Stock down Broncos defense. Like we said, they kind of suck now. And then finally stock down G5 teams. I mean, it was, and Liam made a great point on Roughness Saturday. It's only going to get worse. As the big teams continue to pull from the G5, the gap's only going to widen. We got to figure this out. Stock up Brandon, because Joel Klatt, Dave, said that the only reason that the G5 teams are there is because of antitrust reasons.
Okay.
Antitrust reasons.
He didn't stand by that.
Yeah, because you couldn't understand what I was saying. I was having to
understand it. We got our G5 guy ready to come on. What time is he coming on?
He's coming on next.
He's coming on next. So good. We'll ask him about the G5s. I mean, it's all relative. Like the big guys are pulling from the JMUs, and the JMUs are pulling from the Colgates of the world. So it all goes in rotation.
Well, the Tulanes are also catching talent from that go to the big schools too. They're catching.
They
caught a Retzloff this year.
But that is not as impactful as taking the good players up, in my opinion. I think the gap's going to continue to widen. Meek, what do you got?
My stock up, Adam Silver. The NBA's in a great spot. They had the NBA Cup, phenomenal award. The Knicks won that. Texas A&M, they're a volleyball school. They won the championship yesterday. We all rode in the cave. That's my stock up. Down the SEC, because in the 2 years, there was a 12-team playoff. The SEC is the only conference to lose a home playoff game, and it did it twice.
Let's go.
One was to an SEC team.
It still counts. You got to win the home game, Brandon.
Just means more.
Just means more. And Baker Mayfield, who was a midseason MVP candidate,
it just means
he's
more.
7-8. So the Bucks and Baker Mayfield stock down, and Stephen Chase stock down.
You want another one?
What?
I don't know. Tall Bowls maybe.
Oh yeah, Todd Bowles stock down.
I got to stock up for leverage. The word has never been used more than it has in this college football coaching carousel. I also got to stock up for the UNC football Twitter account, who retweeted 4 Drake May posts last night. That's a big upgrade over what happened early in the season. I got to stock down for 12 as well. Less is more. Maybe 4, maybe 8. Less is more, not 12.
What about more is more? We're going to 16.
I have a question about this G5
Shrink, don't
thing.
expand.
Is the Pac-12 falling apart, or changing a lot? I've seen people blame that for kind of why there's
the Pac-12 dying, because in the bylaws, I believe, that was wrote with the Pac-12 being the 5th major conference, of course, in the Power 5. So yeah. But the Pac-12 was killed by everyone else. The blood's on everyone else's hands.
I'm excited for this next segment, number 33 on JMU, who started the game with the windmill run, looked like a dump in his pants. I couldn't not talk about it, and we got him on, and like he may end up working for us. I'm very curious to see.
He's got a great look with his eye paint, his gut hanging out.
Hat too. I think SBC is a firm. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out.
So we got Andrew coming up next, the man who told Dave Portnoy that, no, Dave, you in fact look like you are running with a
challenge me to a match race.
Stock up, Rico Bosco. We dropped a new Bosco Industries.
Oh, shout out Rico. All right. Andrew too, coming up next. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. So I love this interview because I think this is something that is actually unique to our company. here. Dave, watching the college football playoff Saturday, notices and highlights something that not a lot of people would. And that's our guy, Andrew Taddeo, 33, there in the middle, doing the dirty work for JMU, leaving it all on the field. And look,
I got to stop you, Rob. T-Ball, I think a lot of people noticed it. I think a lot of people noticed the first play. It was the very first play of the game. And obviously, it's JMU, Cinderella playing Oregon, who is a national power. And they run just a simple play left here. And Andrew, he scrapes, reads it perfectly. And the amount of daylight that happens between the running back and him almost instantly it symbolized what I think a lot of people watch. I did the close-up here. And he's ready to go. And I told him off air while we were waiting, I go, Will Compton texted me right after. He goes, I cannot stop watching 33. He goes, he was so perfect in his form.
Yep.
He was just ready to get his paws on somebody. And then he's just like, I don't have the speed for this league. But it encapsulated to me what a lot of people see. It's like the little plucky guy is like, we're in a different league. And then right away, it's like, this guy probably could be an employee by the time we're done with this thing. So we're glad to have him on. He tweeted at me because I said he was running like he had a dump in his pants. He's like, posted a video of me in a match race. But from Colgate to JMU, first of all, congratulations playing there. What was that like playing Oregon? What was it like? You were telling a little bit. You get to the locker room and realize the internet's going bananas on you. Give us the story of how the whole day went and what it was like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's every little kid's dream is to play on a stage like that. And, to be able to go out there and, compete against those guys, it was so awesome. But like you were saying, what we talked about off air, it was my last college football game ever. Mixed emotions, obviously a tough game. And then I go back in the locker room thinking about to see a whole bunch of, like, proud of you text, the whole, post-game ritual. And then the first text I see is, Dave Portnoy is roasting you. The next text I see after that is, do you have to poop? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, what's going on? I open up Twitter. I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But, yeah, that was crazy. It's been a crazy 48 hours for sure.
It was, for me, it wasn't just running. It looked like you were flailing your arms as he was getting away from you.
Yeah.
And you had a great move. Like, you really scraped down the line. Great.
Yeah.
Along those lines, what is the mindset? We've talked a lot about G5, whether they should be there. What was the mindset going into this game?
Well, look, I think addressing the play, that's a hard play for any nose tackle to make.
100%.
Maybe the fastest kid I've ever seen in my life. A little bit outmatched on the speed. I'm more built for, just staying sturdy and strength purposes. But yeah, I mean, that's a great team. Hats off to them. The quarterbacks are spectacular. All the skills are spectacular. I think they can definitely go a long way. But yeah, great team. And, it was just so much fun to go out there and play. I think we were all having a great time when we were out there. So yeah.
Do you go into that game thinking, and I probably know the answer, you have a chance to win the game? Yeah,
of course. Yeah, absolutely. I think, we wouldn't have gotten to that point if we thought we weren't going to win every game we played. So we definitely went in all the prep.
Moving forward, what's your major? You're a fifth year. You told it you did 4 years Colgate.
Yes, sir.
Come here. So you're done with your college football career now, right?
Yes, sir. It's over.
All right, so what'd you major in? Like, what are you going to do next? Do you know?
I graduated with political science from Colgate.
Smart.
It took some classes here, but, I got that degree when I was over there for the 4 years over there.
So what are you going to do now?
I don't know. I haven't really been thinking about that. I wanted to just, cherish this last year and have fun with the guys. And I think we had such a special brotherhood on this team. It didn't really feel like I was playing with my teammates. It felt like I was playing with my friends. And I think everyone bought in. But I love sports. I love talking about football. I love the game of football. I was thinking about maybe getting into coaching. But yeah, I really don't know. And that's something I got to lock in and figure out going forward.
So put your analyst hat on right now. This is a tough one since you're coming from JMU and the G5s. A lot of people saying you guys don't belong. And I don't mean you personally, but like it should have been a Notre Dame. It should have been a BYU. Let's see Texas. if you're sitting on a committee moving forward, would you keep it the same? Would you give the JMUs and Tulanes, or would you say something's gonna go different with the way they're picking these playoffs?
Well, look, I mean, this style of playoffs is very new. We see in March Madness all the time teams go and, they upset teams that shouldn't have been there. And eventually I do think that's going to happen. And any one of these years, I think that could happen. So, yeah, this is just new. It hasn't happened yet, but going forward, I think it can happen. So I think you leave it the same. If not, let more teams in. That's my opinion.
All right, so let me just go ahead and
get his ass.
No. This isn't get his ass. But I will tee you up even further because I'm Brandon Walker, the #1 college football media personality in the world. Nice to meet you. I said it. I said JMU and Tulane don't belong. I said this is unfair. I said we shouldn't do it. Right now, you're talking to me. What would you say to me when I sit there and say JMU did not belong in this and they shouldn't have been there?
I would tell you we earned it. That was we won our conference, that we were the highest ranked team to go win our conference, and that's kind of how it played out. We played our tails off every single game, and we earned our spot there. But yeah, obviously those teams you can argue that they would have competed better, but I think that any one of these G5 schools can go out there and win a college football playoff game. It's just a matter of time.
And there is an element, and I don't mean to cut you off, Brandon. I saw you look around because I am on your side of the fence. But then, if you think about March Madness, let's just say a JMU or a Tulane got somebody once in the next 20 years, is it worth it? Is 19 years of blowouts worth the one shocker?
I don't know if you're asking him or me, but I think it probably is. But you're also leaving a lot of teams along the way. You're leaving a lot of Notre Dame's out, leaving a lot of this. I would have had no problem if JMU had been the one G5 team that got in. I think they were a better team than Tulane. But when you put two in, now you're really stretching the limits of what we ought to be doing here. But my second question here to follow up, Andrew, is this. You guys fell behind 34-6 at halftime. But you fought your asses off in the second half. Like you kept going, you kept going.
Absolutely.
What was the locker room like at the end of the game when it was all over and you guys did acquit yourselves well in the second half?
I think we were all proud of ourselves. We've been a second half team all season long, and one of the main things about this team is our relentlessness, our never give up, and to be able to go and show that trait and our qualities on the biggest stage in college football was just awesome and something we could all be proud about.
Andrew, okay, real quick here. We have #1 UCLA fan, Liam Blutman here. Obviously, he's getting Bob Chesney. What is it about Coach Chesney that you would think that you would want Liam to know going forward?
He's the best. He genuinely cares about all his players. He's a phenomenal recruiter. Not just saying that because he got me.
How did that? I'd be curious after you answer how you end up. Because Colgate's not a main. I mean, that is not a football factory as far as I'm aware. So
right.
You end up Colgate. How did that process? How does he find a guy like you and get you?
Well, he was at Holy Cross for multiple years, and he saw me absolutely killing them every single year, even though we lost those games. So I think I was one of his guys where he kind of looked and he was like, this is a gritty guy with a chip on his shoulder. He can come up from the FCS level and not skip a beat. So that's something that he definitely looks for. I think he's a coach that would rather take the guy who's got the chip on his shoulder. That's, he knows that guy's going to give it his all, rather than someone who's kind of unproven if they're coming down from a bigger school.
I mean, there you go, Dave. Another guy who likes guys with a chip on his shoulder. I guarantee this. I've seen Andrews. I've been in locker rooms with Andrews. This dude works his ass off. This is a classic, leave it all on the field,
I may
gritty
put
guy
together
right
an
here.
offensive line at Barstool. He may have to sway or drills with him versus Kadick. And you slowly put together some big guys.
Andrew, thank you so much, man. Congrats on all the success. A hell of a year. You kicked ass. Thank you for joining us.
When's the race, guys? When's the race?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dave.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Would you beat Dave Portnoy in a race?
What is your 40 time?
We don't really need to discuss that, but I'm confident. I'm confident in my ability. I didn't even need to look at the film, but once I saw the video.
That film's deceptive. That film is deceptive.
I don't know if that film is deceptive.
Yeah.
Where are you living? Where you live?
I was thinking we could do it maybe in the Dominican Republic. Me and all my buddies come out there. You fly us out, and
who the hell's in the Dominican? I'm not in the Dominican.
He wants a vacation out of it.
He wants a trip, Dave.
Let's do a week out there of prep, and then we race on the last day. How about that?
We'll put together this race. I don't know if it'll be there, but we'll put together this race.
Let's do it whenever you want.
I got to get myself in shape, but yeah, we'll do it.
Hell yeah, man. There he is, JMU D-Lineman, Andrew Taddeo. Andrew, thank you so much, brother. You have an excellent day, man.
Thank you.
Congrats on the year.
Congrats on all the year, the success, everything. All right, wrapping up today's Wake Up Barstool next.
I don't know. We can do it in the Bahamas or something.
Yeah, I mean, great play by Taddeo. Heady
in
play.
Tokyo.
I wanted to go to Japan. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Let's talk a little Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, which is now available to watch globally, only on Netflix. Dave, you were at the fight. Looked like a very cool environment. Major takeaways. I mean, to me, the shot of Paul's jaw afterwards is just insane. But major takeaways from what the fight night was like.
Yeah, listen. So going into this fight, it actually happened exactly how I thought it would, and I said it. I thought Jake would stay away, and then he got tired. And this last shot was, people, I'd take this shot for 90 million maybe. Jake was totally gassed, couldn't get out of the way. I respect him going in. Now, he wasn't trying. It was an ugly fight in the beginning. He's fallen down. This is a gold medal, legit world champion heavyweight, which Jake is not. So to get in the ring with him takes a lot of guts. And he took a shot worthy of the 90 million. So I respected him doing it. Yeah, I mean, that knocks down a lot of heavyweights. That knocks down a lot of professional heavyweights. So I don't know how anybody can say anything really negative about Jake after this fight. Like, he didn't. He could have stayed down multiple times earlier, and he didn't. He went out on his sword. He got his face broken. A lot of people are celebrating. They want to see it. Yeah, that's what everybody wants to see. They want to see him get knocked out. I'd still like to see Jake fight somebody his size. Like, he had no business being in the ring with this guy. He's a heavyweight. Jake's not. And it doesn't surprise me, but I came away with nothing but respect for them. I respect both the Pauls to begin with. I think they're the two best marketers of our generation. And he did not have to give the effort he did. He could have gotten away with taking a body shot, got hit earlier, taking a knee, staying down, and he didn't. He went out on his sword. I have nothing but respect for him. It was an incredible night. Met Rory McIlroy sitting 2 doors down. Rory McIlroy asked me with a straight face, is LeBron playing in the Invitational? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I just don't know. Jake
biggest Paul, question, who was taller, you or Rory?
Me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, wow.
Rory's short.
Oh, wow.
Rory's like 5'5".
Is LeBron playing in the Invitational?
He's been talking an awful lot about YouTube golf. I'd love to invite him, love to get him there. But did you guys respect Josh? I mean,
no.
Look,
I thought even there in the highlight package we just showed, where he takes the body shot and everything in his body is telling him to crumble and fall, and he still stands till he gets his jaw broken. Yeah, man, that's toughness. Now, how much?
And nobody like Jake Paul. Why he's such a great marker? Have you ever seen a guy lose a fight and brag as much about getting their jaw broken? It's all over. But that's what makes Jake Paul. That's what makes the Pauls. And he'll be back, and everyone will watch it. But he could have easily gotten out of that fight without getting his face rearranged. And like Walker said, holiday seasons, all liquids for 7 weeks.
Yep, respect.
Go out on your shield, Jakey. Good job. And we will go out as well. Great job, guys. Wake Up Barstool. We'll be back tomorrow. Love you. See you then. Merry Christmas.
I can't believe LeBron knows the soul.